So this was a submission from our very own Noah. Of course, Noah is, for anyone who doesn't know, is CopyThat's video director, and he has submitted what I believe is going to be an ad for his video agency, and that's what I want to look at. So context, this is a meta ad for clients to work with Deep Dough Productions, a video agency focused on outside the box advertising. This video will be jam-packed with interesting visuals and filmmaking. Okay, and I'm guessing that this is the script. And my guess is, Noah, I'm guessing that this is for your like video ad service. So like this is for like filmmaking generally rather than like music videos and stuff. It'd be awesome to get context on exactly who this is for, you know, if this is for content creators or it's for people who are making ads of their own, but I will read it with those things in mind. I kept 95% retention rate for the first 30 seconds of this business's video, which brought them thousands of leads in the first couple of days of the launch. I'm going to show you how I did that in a second, but first I'm going to give you some context. All right, so I like what you're doing here with immediately opening a loop on something that you feel is going to be useful and beneficial for people. I don't think your thinking is wrong. I think you're thinking in the right way. Something I'm going to point to is, though, I kept 95% retention rate for the first 30 seconds. This very much depends on who you're talking to, because a lot of businesses, a lot of kind of, even if they're making videos, a lot of content creators and business owners probably aren't going to really know what that means, like what retention rate means, aren't really going to know if 95% is good. I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but this is where you need to kind of consider who are you actually talking to? You know, who is your one reader? Is it someone who already knows this stuff? My argument would be if it's someone who already knows that this stuff is needed, they'd probably already have a system or be looking for someone to do this for them. So I like the opening a loop on something you think is going to be useful. I don't think this is the strongest kind of message to open with. Saying which brought them thousands of leads in the first couple of days, like that's kind of more along the lines of being obviously useful to me, regardless of who I am or like what kind of business I have. However, if I'm looking for video editing and like video production and directing, is that going to be the first thing I kind of link to video production leads? Like maybe not. I'm going to keep reading because the more I read this, like the more I might kind of understand exactly who you're going for, and I might be able to pull some stuff up to the top. So I'm going to show you how I did that in a second, but first I'm going to give some context. CopyThat is a copywriting and marketing YouTube channel, which amassed a decent following over the course of a few years. We were setting out to make a smash viral video, even in such a small niche such as copywriting. We toiled for days writing copy and filming a super long course, which cost the business over $6,000 to produce. Everything was banking on this video working, but we knew it would. How? Because even though the video was hours long, we knew the most important part was in the first 30 seconds, and that's why 90% of my agency's efforts went. And no, we didn't use AI, not even close. You might be thinking, okay, so something I'm going to ask you here, Noah, who is this for? Whose business are you trying to get? Are you trying to get course creators? Have you kind of nailed it down to a specific kind of business? Or are you just kind of saying, oh, well, I'll just go with whoever? Because the problem with obviously going like, oh, I'll just do whoever is that that's such a wide net that I don't think this stuff is going to be relevant enough to enough people for that wide net to work. Because usually what I want to see if I'm casting the net this wide, if I'm like looking for a video editor, I just want to see that I'm going to be working with someone who knows what to do, who's going to make my vision come to life, not yet more people who need meta ads. So this is a meta ad for people who need meta ads. So in that case, one of the things I would kind of question is if your offer is going to be about the meta ads specifically, I would be like, well, why are you telling me about like a YouTube channel? Because, you know, my business is not a YouTube channel. We're selling candles or whatever, and we want like meta stuff. So like already kind of through here, I can see like, you know, you're putting in some good proof, like you're an award-winning director of short films and music videos. Again, like I think that even though we know that might not have much to do with advertising, you know, like us people in the know might know that, oh, it doesn't really matter if you've done short films and music videos, you can be a good advertiser without having those things. It sounds impressive for most people. So I think it's good that you're including stuff like that. And again, I realized the best use of my agency's abilities is selling to people online for companies like yours. Okay, so selling online. So it's definitely an advertising thing. So that's fine. Our secret isn't AI. It's not trends. It's real artistry, which stands out among the top online today. Okay, so you're kind of setting yourself apart by saying, you know, we actually care about this. This isn't just, you know, quick fire shit. And we're not some huge agency. We handpick our employees to make sure it's the best of the best and to make sure that you're getting like the attention you deserve is effectively what you're saying. We're looking to add 2 or 3 more businesses who want to break the mold and stand on the internet. Okay, I like this because this is a gimmick. Like we only have 2 or 3 slots available for businesses, right? So I like that. And I actually think front loading that, almost having that somewhere near the beginning, I think would be impressive because it makes it feel scarce. You'll be in touch with me personally and you can apply right now before our client list gets too big. Okay, so I think you've got like nice kind of gimmicks in here. You've got nice angles in here that I like. I would rework this. I would rework the idea of this. And the first thing I think you need to get clear on is exactly who you want to target. Like Like, who do you want to talk to? The reason I'm asking that question to you, Noah, like in the chat, is do you want to work with, for example, a particular kind of business, or do you just not care? Would you like to work with like e-commerce businesses, like selling physical products? Or would you like to work with other like online creators, specifically who are selling courses or coaching? And of course, I assume, like you said, you're only talking about meta ads here. So you're doing meta ads for them. If you could answer that question, I don't really care that much, to be honest. Okay, so that's good. Because you don't care, I would say use the same philosophy that we encourage copywriters to do when they're pitching to people. Use intermittent niching. So like, first of all, just pick a niche, like a fucking niche that you're like, oh, I don't mind, that's fine. For example, e-commerce stores, like just choose that. That's fine. That's easy. I like making shit for them anyway because they're physical products and they're easier to work with. So you can decide who you want to choose, but let's just say you choose physical products. You can always make another version of this ad, which is for like course creators. But let's just say it's e-commerce stores. This opening is going to be so much more powerful if you say, if you're looking for the best meta ads for your e-commerce store, then you need to watch this video. They can be as simple, the hook can be as simple as that. And then it can be, in a few moments, I'm going to show you how I have achieved crazy metrics for videos across Meta, YouTube, whatever, all by using like advertising principles that e-commerce stores should be using to get more sales of their products. And this is a completely done for you agency. And we're only looking for 2 more e-commerce stores to get on board because that's all the space I have. So I'm turning to Facebook to find the perfect clients or whatever. That is going to be far more hyper relevant to the kind of people you're speaking to. It's going to grab their attention much more quickly. You're kind of bringing one of the interesting gimmicks to the forefront of saying, oh, you know, I'm only looking for 2. And I'd be specific. I wouldn't say 2 or 3. I would say like, I'm looking for 2 more clients, or I'm looking 2 of the best e-commerce stores. You can say my roster is full, but I'm now looking for the perfect e-com stores to partner with. Then you can start to highlight the benefits of working with you and just saying, we're a small agency, which means you're not going to be like, you know, handed off to some admin that doesn't know anything about your account. You'll be working with me directly, and you will be getting clips of like this quality or videos of this quality, and then you're kind of flashing stuff up on screen. Then you can present your offer. So you've got some good kind of proof points in here, and you can bring up the fact that there's so much slop out there nowadays just with AI and lazy video editing. I'm an award-winning short film and music video director, and I'm turning my attention to e-commerce. You can say I've already worked with plenty of online businesses, and now I'm giving this like service over fully because I'm sick and tired of the generic, you know, slop that there is. Instead, I want to create like true art with e-commerce videos that also perform. Then you can lay out the full offer, which is you work directly with me. My team is handpicked, so we can make sure that we're focused on exactly what your vision is. We won't stop until we get it 100% right. And I'm here to help with all of your video needs. So if you need ideas, if you need help with this, we can do filming, we can do editing, we can do directing, we can do all this kind of stuff. That is going to be a far better kind of like layout for this thing, right? So that's kind of what I would recommend doing for you, Noah. I would definitely say like front load the call out of who you actually want to talk to, lay out what makes you different and what the major benefit is of working with you, with some proof points, of course. Then alongside showing proof of what you've done and like either testimonials or examples of the videos you've done, then lay out the offer and have a very direct CTA. And I particularly like bringing the gimmick of, oh, I'm looking for like 2 more e-commerce stores to join my agency, like to the forefront. I really like that. You can make this a lot shorter, and you can make this far more focused and far more relevant, and you can hit them straight to that quiz funnel or, you know, that application page below. That's how I would be changing this. So I think you've got good ideas in here, and I think you've got like nice gimmicks that I think can work really well. But I would say that you need to worry less about talking about like a full case study at this stage, and worry less about, I know this isn't quite a promise, but worry less about a specific implied promise, implicit promise here. Focus more just on the call out, the gimmick of wanting to work with them, and then laying out why you're great to work with, as opposed to a huge agency or AI slop. So I would say go away and redo this with that in mind. Then let's look at like the specific line edits of how you get all that across.